What's going on, everyone? So earlier today, we got the announcement for opening night games for the NBA. Opening night is October 22nd for the 2024-2025 season. And the first game is the Knicks versus the Boston Celtics in Boston. And it'll be rain night for the Celtics. Boo. But the home team, the Los Angeles Lakers, they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in LA. That's a very big, very important game. So right off the bat, not only do you have one of the top playoff teams just in the conference finals, you have the young versus old, you have the up-and-coming star, the Anthony Edwards, who has just been absolutely phenomenal and was coming off an excellent campaign with Team USA, in which he won the gold on team with LeBron James. Two of them are now going from teammates to rivals once again, as the Lakers will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this should be a great matchup right out the gate, playing a real title contending team, a team that wants to and has aspirations to win an NBA championship. And they're a team that has the two bigs. They have real size, right? So, how do we match up? How does JJ Redick opening night kind of go with the first lineup, match up against obviously Anthony Edwards and, Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels, but also Rudy Gobert, as well as Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Rudy's kind of an interesting spot because he was with France, who they were just in the gold medal games against Team USA, but he ended up getting benched once the games actually started to matter, and in favor for Victor Wembanyama, as well as Ubasha, however you say his name, right? And the two of them were matched up against Joel Embiid and LeBron James and that. So it's going to be interesting to see, does that have an impact at all on Rudy Gobert? Does Minnesota kind of make those adjustments at some point? Or is it going to be the big lineup, the big matchup, especially against the Lakers, right? Anthony Davis, he's going to have his hands full. Right, he's going to be matching up against Karl Anthony Towns as well as Rudy Gobert right out the gate. And, Rudy Gobert, he offensively is limited, so there's not too much there, but just his size, his physicality, his ability to rebound, right? It's just a matchup right out the gate in which you're matching up against some physicality. And look, that's the Western Conference, right? I mean, you got him, you got obviously Sabonis, Jokic, Zach Edey now is with the Memphis Grizzlies. You got all these teams that just have these big body centers. Do the Lakers kind of end up pulling it out and getting the center before we end up having that matchup opening night? Obviously, a trade could do wonders for the Lakers. Lakers seem to be targeting kind of perimeter guys. Jeremy Grant, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, guys like that have kind of been the names that have circulated. But could we get a Walker Kessler or a Wendell Carter Jr. or, even Nick Richards or, just anybody, right? Just get another big body so that way you can match up and then have Anthony Davis even potentially on opening night slotted against a Karl Anthony Towns at the 4 defensively, and then have, let's just say it's Wendell Carter Jr., have Wendell Carter Jr. matched up against a Rudy Gobert, or you could even do the opposite, right? Because a guy like Wendell Carter, his versatility, his size, his length, he could play the 4, he could play the 5, so you could even have him matched up against a Cat and be able to help on the defensive side of things. But we're gonna get right out the gate. I mean, first game is no joke, and I got to imagine that the first handful of games are probably going to be no joke, right? We haven't gotten the full schedule yet, full list, at least at the time of recording this video. So we'll see what is the toughness of schedule and all that stuff compared to the rest of the league, right? Because last year, Lakers had one of the tougher schedules. But I mean, just being in the West, you're going to have one of the toughest schedules, right? I mean, every night you're talking about a team that could be in the playoffs. Every night you're talking about a team that is either on the rise or already there, right? Like Memphis is probably going to be back. Minnesota is already there, right? San Antonio made some big changes this season, right? So they're going to OKC, right? You just kind of go down the list, and it's incredibly tough. And every night you're talking about a marquee matchup. So we're going to need all hands on deck. We're going to need guys to be more efficient, be more effective, right? D'Angelo Russell, if he's still on the roster, we're going to need him to be the best version of himself. We're going to need him to be able to hit shots and, kind of brush off, last season. I mean, he was excellent last season during the regular season. The playoffs were the problem. But look, you got to win games in the regular season to get to the playoffs. And D'Angelo Russell has proven that he can at least do that. But like Austin Reeves was very inconsistent last season, all last season. Now, remember, to start the season, D'Lo was terrible. D'Lo and Reeves were both just awful. But D'Lo kind of picked it up, and then he ended up having that historic run, just particularly shooting the basketball. But Austin Reeves continued to struggle. He'd have his games, he had his moments, right? He'd have like a 5-game stretch where it's like, okay, here we go. Maybe Reeves is back. Maybe Reeves is back to what we need Reeves to be. And then, he'd have another 5-game stretch where he was just almost unplayable at times. So we need these guys to get back to being more consistent. We need the best version of Austin Reeves. We need the best version of D'Angelo Russell. We need the best version of Rui Hachimura, and Max Christie and Dalton Knecht and Gabe Vincent and all these guys. And hopefully health too, right? Like we really could use some health. Right? Hopefully this season isn't like how it was last year, where it was just like, we were throwing out lineups that were just like, but you didn't really have much of a choice, right? Particularly on the defensive side, right? That's where it hurt the most, because you had like Jared Vanderbilt. Cam Reddish was excellent defensively for us early on. He ends up getting hurt. Then you have Gabe Vincent, right? Like, it's just, you go down the list and it's like all of our defensive stoppers were all injured. They were all hurt. So it's like, yeah, you really need that balance, right? Because we don't have a ton of two-way guys. Now, again, maybe the Lakers go trade for a Jeremy Grant or something like that. It's always a possibility, but you do need to have, be able to get stops as well as score the basketball. Obviously, scoring the basketball is very important, but you also got to be able to get stops. And so, hopefully the Lakers can be more consistent, one, because even last year, yes, we didn't start 2-10 and all that. We ended up winning the in-season tournament and all that stuff. But the Lakers also were very inconsistent. Remember, it was like first half was atrocious. Second half, it was like a whole new team. We need to start putting together quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter type of performances. You can't play 24 of the 48 minutes. You got to play the full 48, right? And so hopefully JJ Redick can really kind of draw out the best from this roster and from the talent that we have. Because I don't think that this team is bad at all. I do think this team has a very real chance to win a championship. Do I think that we need a trade or two? Absolutely. But I do think if you were to run it back, I do think worst case scenario, the Lakers will be fine. They'll be in good shape. At the end of the day, it all boils down to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Those two are good. Those two are elite. Those two are doing, LeBron James and Anthony Davis things. The Lakers will be fine. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about the upcoming season, for one? Obviously, where do you think the Lakers kind of fall in and land as far as like the rankings go? Do you think they're a play-in team? Do you think they're a playoff team? Do you think they're a top 4 seed, top 5 seed? Excited for the season to begin. I mean, look, we're right around the corner, right? Talking like a little over 2 months, right? And then our season's there. Training camp is like a month away. So we're vastly approaching, and it's going to be here before we know it. We're going to wake up one day, and all of a sudden, NBA season's going to begin, and our Lakers are going to be trying to compete. I am excited for the season. I do think that, like I said, the Lakers do have a chance. But guys got to pick it up. JJ Redick's got to be a better version of Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, he had his issues, so luckily the bar isn't super high. But we need a better coaching display than what we got the last 2 years. But how do you feel about Minnesota in the first matchup? Do you think that's an instant L? You think we're starting 0-1, or you think that we will finish 1-0? I do like the matchup against Minnesota. Like, Lakers have had their success against Minnesota and have matched up well against Minnesota. So my hope is that continues to be a trend. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be, again, very interesting to see what this looks like. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.